right, let's bring in Mandla Qwane, who's part of that group of ANC staffers who haven't been paid their salaries over the past 2 months. Mandla, we were told as well by Pule Mabe yesterday that the ANC would start making payments by today. What update do you have for us?
Good morning, Michelle, and good morning to the viewers. And thanks again for inviting us to come and clarify and perhaps share the difficult conditions that as ANC workers we find ourselves under. I can give an update, one, that indicates that some have been paid. We have seen a payment of a single salary coming in, but not all workers have received it. And we are hopeful that for the course of the morning, those who have not received it will be receiving it. And we are also hopeful that before the afternoon, we should be receiving the second salary, because our view, and a strong view, is that we should be able to get both our salaries so that we are also able to sort out the current challenges that we find ourselves under. And as we continue to do the work, we are motivated because we now know that we'll be able to sort out whatever financial challenges that we have been finding ourselves under.
So, Mandla, you say one salary has come into the account of some workers, and
Correct.
You say that you're hoping to have that second salary by the end of the day. But that doesn't make sense to me, because if I was going to pay you the back pay of the past 2 months, wouldn't I do so in one go? Why would the ANC pay those two salaries in two separate tranches?
It should have been like that, because that's what we demanded, and that's what we negotiated with the leadership, that we really can't accept one salary, because the challenge is bigger now with two salaries that have not been paid. And part of the argument was that we should get both salaries. Mm-hmm. I'm saying we're hopeful that we'll get another salary today, because we have not gotten it yet. And part of what we should be talking about with the leadership of the ANC is to say we have not received both salaries and we want both salaries. And that call hasn't changed.
So if by tomorrow and by the start of the policy conference that demand has not been met, what then?
We continue with our planned industrial action. We continue with the picket. We continue to withdraw our labor the way we had indicated. We are only going to work between 8 and 4, and we would not give any extra hours to the work that we do.
Look,
we'll continue to picket on the sidelines of the policy conference.
Yeah. Look, 8 to 4:30 is still a full work day, so it's not really a go-slow, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We've decided that we don't want to go on a full, as yet, go slow, because it was our first phase of an industrial action. And if we decide, we may decide today, we may decide tomorrow that we're going on a full go slow, or we may decide on a full withdrawal of labor. It will be dependent on what happens this afternoon. If we don't get our second salary, we will take a decision. Whether we continue with the go slow in its current form, or we are going to take a much more radical approach.
The optics, Mandla, of what took place at Nasrec yesterday with the ANC's gala dinner to open up the policy conference, you know, the opulence that was inside that conference center, the 3-course menu, the musical items, and then on the sidelines of that, workers picketing outside ahead of the policy conference because they haven't been paid their salaries, they can't meet their own financial commitments to their families, their policies have lapsed. It's an issue that's not new. That must have been very hurtful for workers.
It was first and foremost very hurtful. Secondly, it was disappointing. And unfortunately, we had thought that to some of our leaders, it was going to appeal to their conscience to remember, as they dine and wine that there are poor workers of the ANC who anyways earn peanuts, who are at the gate picketing for the little peanuts that they are getting. Yes, it might have appealed, or it did appeal to some, and we're grateful that some NEC members chose to stay away from the gala dinner in support or in solidarity with workers. But some continued with the gala dinner, which means it meant nothing to them. They felt nothing about the plight of workers. And we must say that we are completely disappointed with that, and we're forever going to remember that the leadership of the ANC has shown us how less it cares about workers. Just to even come to workers and say, we can see you, you are here, you are picketing, and we're trying our best to resolve your issues. Interestingly, comrades drove by as if they were not even seeing us. Yes, there were a few of them that came and said, look, comrades, we are in support with you. We are engaging this matter within the structures. Please stay strong. We support you. There are others who called us and said, we support you. As a result, we are staying away from the gala dinner because it feels wrong to go and enjoy food while you, comrades, are looking for your money or are fighting for your money, and you're standing in the cold fighting for money that you're supposed to have gotten the way your contracts are saying you should get it. And yes, we appreciate that, but we would have appreciated it more if they didn't stay at home, but they came and joined the picket line. And we invite them, as we continue with our picket, those NEC members or leaders of the ANC who feel strongly that our issues are important and they must be resolved, we should get our salaries, they must join the picket line. It's not enough to stay at home.
Certainly.
Come and join the picket line.
Mandla, even if these salaries are paid, these 2-month salaries, if they do come into your account by the end of today, there are still other outstanding issues which you mentioned to us when you were in studio just this week. The issue of Provident Fund contributions, which, as you said, were coming off of accounts but have not been actually paid to the Provident Fund. Is this something that you're going to be taking further?
We are not going to abandon our industrial action until all our demands are met. And that the priority of our list is the issue of the Provident Fund, it is the issue of salaries, it is the issue of medical aid, and all other matters follow. Until the issue of our medical aid is resolved, we might have indicated to you, we had, in fact, indicated to you that there are families of our comrades who passed on who are still waiting for the payouts for their family members who are deceased. And we're saying this is a sensitive matter. You can't have a family that waits 2 years, even 4 years for a payout because the ANC has failed to make a contribution that a member continued to work for. And we're saying this is an urgent matter. We will continue with our industrial action and even upbeat the tempo when needs be, for as long as the issue of the Provident Fund is not resolved.
Mandla Qwane, thanks very much indeed for joining us. The latest there on the plight of ANC employees who are still, the bulk of them, waiting for the past 2 months' salaries to get into their account. The ANC saying that those payments should be made from today, and depending on which bank you're with.